You may have noticed I disappeared for a month. Now, this is unusual for me because over the past 2 years, I've posted daily with 97% accuracy. So for me to take a full 30 days off is very off the wall. But I had to put things in perspective because the truth is, I realized something about my content. My content started to feel bad. And I know you know what I mean. You'd sit and watch me for 20 to 30 seconds, and by the end of it, you'd feel like you'd need a shower, feel dirty, kind of disgusting, and angry after listening to what I had to show you. However, I wasn't trying to be gross because, believe it or not, none of the content I've ever created has been created for the sole purpose of being incendiary. With every single piece of content I've ever produced, the goal has been to try and uncover some truth, some piece of wisdom, in order to push the world farther in the direction of something stronger, longer lasting. But when it comes down to it, my content doesn't generally come across this way. Because I'm a shorts content creator, my content is limited to the amount of time the algorithm gives me, 60 seconds or less. And while I knew that some level of misunderstanding of my content was inevitable, because of this time constraint, I didn't know just how little clarity I was actually communicating with. Because on my end of things on a given week, I might be in the middle of a book on the founding of Singapore, as well as a biography on Deng Xiaoping. And from these books, I may come up with 10 to 20 content ideas that I can pair with things happening today on X that work together as a whole cohesive idea. But because each idea is bite-sized and is separated from the overall idea as a whole, not only would you have to consume all 28 reels of mine each week to get a full idea of what I'm actually trying to say, not only would you have to be reading the exact same books as I am, but you'd have to connect the dots in the exact same way as I do based on my own personal experience in my life. Now, I don't say any of this to virtue signal that I'm some ultra intelligent goon. I say this because I've realized that it's unfair of me to assume that anyone would be able to reasonably understand where I'm coming from when I'm speaking with such a lack of clarity and context. However, this isn't the only problem with my content. My channel, my entire brand has been built on criticism. 99% of everything I have ever done on Anti.Prophet over the past year and a half is criticize, endlessly tearing down, often eloquently, everything I see that is wrong with the world. Now, this type of behavior isn't unusual online. Every single political commentator today has built a career on criticism. Because the only way to have something interesting to say about politics upwards of 2, 3, 4 times a day that keeps audiences coming back and keeps them emotionally addicted to your words is to make them angry, anxious, and scared by constantly shoving down their throat the idea that the world has gone to shit and there's no saving it. I can no longer go down this route and continue creating this type of content, especially in the context of the revelations about Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, and Lauren Southern being funded by Russia. I realized constantly talking about what's wrong and making my neighbors angry, anxious, and depressed with my content is exactly what an adversary like Russia and China wants. Because Russia and China don't fund content creators who they agree with. They fund content creators who sow division through endless criticism of the United States because they understand that the citizens of the United States, when they lose trust in one another, they will destroy their country from the inside out. Now, I want you to ask yourself 4 questions. Number 1, has my content over the past year and a half made you feel sad? Has it made you feel anxious? Has it made you feel angry? And if you can really push yourself for it, can you think of more than 3 times that my content made you happy? You and I know the answer to all 4 of these questions. So as a result, I'm done. I refuse to continue being part of this problem. It's too easy to endlessly criticize the world around us. But you know what's a lot harder than endlessly criticizing? Creation. Real, artistic, solutions-oriented creation. Because real creation takes work. It takes creativity, it takes critical thinking, it requires operating from a worldview that declares that yes, a better future is indeed possible. That a third world war and a civil war aren't inevitable or necessary in order to move our society into a new age. So from this day forward, you will never see another piece of content on my channel that values irony over sincerity. Moving forward, you will never see me focus on criticism and destruction over creation. Now, there's a chance that you may find my content moving forward to be incredibly soy and cucked, and you'll be like, nah, man, this ain't for me. And that's okay. But honestly, in my heart of hearts, I don't think that you'll leave. I think you saw a light in me that I didn't even see before. So if you're choosing to stick around into this new chapter, thank you. And I really, really look forward to seeing what you think. Now, all this being said, there is one more order of business here, and that is me selling products. Moving forward, I will never sell anything to you ever again in my organic content that I post online. Moving forward, when it comes to my products, I will only ever mention free trainings in my organic content on social media. Now, you're no dummy. You know how the internet works, and you know that if someone offers a free training and you opt into it, this will put you into a sales funnel. However, I really want to drive home two things here. Number one, any free training or product I produce will always be held to a standard of being better than someone else's paid product before I release it. Number two, if you ever check out one of my free products or trainings, you never have to buy anything from me. And I never, ever want you to spend your last dollar on me. Because the truth is, I don't want to trick or manipulate anyone into buying my products because I don't need to. As an example, let's take Peak 21. A program like this stands on its own 2 feet because of the hundreds and hundreds of positive testimonials it has gotten from being open just 3 months. When products are this good, you can just be upfront with people and say, hey, I'm selling this. You want to buy it? Great. If not, also totally great. Instead of resorting to fake guru tactics to try and scare and manipulate people into buying immediately. That's not the way that I like to do business. So again, the only products of mine I will mention in my organic content moving forward will be awesome free shit you can have for free, and you can make your own decisions about what you want to do from there. Now, something you may see on the channel moving forward are brand collaborations. And there are 2 directions we can go with this. Option 1 is nuking every single brand collaboration I do to infinity, or we can comport ourselves with dignity in order to show that communities like this that value exceptionalism, wisdom, beauty, and honesty are indeed profitable places for companies to do business. Now, this being said, I will never sell you up the river to some shady online gambling company or pull a Jake Tran on you where I whore you out to the highest bidder. And in fact, I'm going to be consistently putting out feelers to you guys to see what kind of brand collaborations you actually want to see me doing and that you feel like bring actual value to you here on the channel. Because I believe very strongly in partnering with companies who have ad dollars to spend to engage with communities like the one we've built here. Because I believe that this is one of the only ways consumers can actually unwokify advertisers, by showing advertisers that they don't need to avoid people like us, like the plague, and that we're not broke, we're not angry, and we're not the losers that woke corporate America tries to paint us out to be. So I think this gets everything out of the way. At the end of the day, I am incredibly excited for this new era. So put up your pinky with mine and let's make a commitment to each other, you and me. It's time to stop endlessly criticizing everything around us. There are enough people online doing exactly that. Instead, let's build something together. Let's actually solve the problems in front of us and channel all of this rage, this energy that's built up in us from doom scrolling over the last 10 years into something that betters not just our individual lives and the lives of our families, but brings forth a vision of the future that makes us excited to be Americans again. Because that will be my commitment to you.